Go
So,
ahead.
Chris, answer this. What's your assessment of the eventual decision not to let voters decide on a potential change in the form of county government?
I think it's a disservice to the voters because Idaho code does provide for a mechanism for putting it before the voters. Now, there are two approaches. One is the study commission, which is the approach that we took. The other is that we could essentially bypass that process, or could have, and gone with a vote of 2 out of 3 to put it before the voters. So I believe that there are certain arguments to be made in favor of the optional form of government, and I think it would have been best left to the voters. And I think it's sad that the conclusion hasn't come out that way, but why shouldn't people have the right to choose their form of government? And why do we assume that the current form is the best form? The fact that other counties in Idaho have not adopted it, that's irrelevant. I think there are good arguments to be made for it. And I made several arguments, one being control, qualifications, experience, continuity. And that's just several of the arguments in favor of the optional form. There you go.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Mattare.
Could you repeat that question again, please?
I certainly will. The question is, what's your assessment of the eventual decision not to let voters decide on a possible change in the form of county government?
Well, you see, here's what's happening is that we're doing the same thing over, and in this case, hoping for a different outcome. We actually put this before the voters in 2012, and they voted it down. Now, I would have been a lot more open to the idea of looking at what the real issues were, except for the fact that the entire study commission was corrupted from the get-go. My opponent appointed his treasurer onto that study commission and did not disclose that. Neither did his treasurer. The other members of the commission have actually confided in me that they never would have voted to make my opponent's treasurer the chairman of this study commission unless if they had known that. Now, on top of that, it was corrupted because one of the members was planning on moving away and in fact relocated before the end of the commission to another state, South Dakota. The reason my opponent is upset at the conclusion is because level heads prevailed. Once that woman resigned and was replaced by an alternate of another commissioner who wants to see a change, that person realized that there should not be a change and voted to keep the form of government the same as it is. So, in fact, my opponent did promise that he would follow the recommendation of the study commission, and I hope that he lives up to that promise. And the report was presented to him among the other commissioners, no change.
All right.